Hey guys, this is my instructional node video, and the node that I wanted to explore was trying to figure out how to do the golden ratio by finding one original length and having the other lengths kind of change dependent on that first one. And so basically I just wanted to be able to change as few things as possible to make the entire system change as a whole. And if you zoom in here, instead of starting from the smallest length down in there, I decided to start from the longer length there, and you can see the longer arc there. And that arc is actually based on the point A here. Well, this isn't a point yet, but this is just a value for A, and that original value is going to be from the center point here, which you can see is just 0, 0, 0 all around. So that's what I plugged into that point value there. So that's going to be our center point right in there. And then the distance right now from that to A is about 19, as you can see. And then I wanted to make it so that the distance from these other various center points to their ends of the arcs were within the golden ratio of the value of A. So what I did for the next value B, which would be the length of this next smaller arc here, is dependent on A by 0.62, which is the inverse of the golden ratio, which is 1.62 roughly. And then from B to C, it's the exact same thing, just multiply B by 0.62, and then from C to D, it's the exact same thing. So all of them are dependent on that original first value. And then to actually lay out the golden ratio in the spiral form, I needed to find the endpoints of the arc and then their center points, and each center point changes. It's not the same center point, but luckily each arc does share an endpoint, so that made it a little bit simpler. So starting with A, I was able to plug it into a couple different code blocks and find the various points I needed. I already had my center point, which you can see is there based on that, which is just 0, 0, 0. And then the next points were this distance away from 0. So through that code block, I just added the center point with A. And then here I did the same thing, but I subtracted A since it's going in a negative direction for that next point. And then this point here you see becomes the endpoint of the next arc. And so that became a starting point for this B arc over here. But working with it, B plugs into a code block. You get A plus B to find, I believe this should be the center point there. Yeah, so that's the center point of this curve. And then based on that center point, I was able to find where the next endpoint should be. And then basically I just did this whole sequence for all of these 4 sections that I had and plugged the 3 point values that I found for each one. So here we see the original center point, endpoint, endpoint, plugged it into the arc, and you got the arc. And then I was able to do that for all of the points. And since I had them all based off of this original value A, I was able to make it so that I can actually adjust A, and the entire ratio adjusts with it along with each one's center points as should be. So overall pretty successful, except the one thing that I wasn't able to do is once I actually decide to change the center point to a non-0, 0, 0 location, the entire thing just gets super messed up. So I guess I will leave off with that question if anyone has an idea how to resolve that, if that will be possible within this node, or if it's going to take a lot of reorganizing and kind of redoing this entire thing. So if anyone has a response to that, feel free to let me know. If not, I will probably keep messing with it until I figure it out. Alright, thanks guys.